Okay, good morning. Welcome to
MathForKids194.
Okay, this week we're talking about thinking before diving in. Like if you're standing on a diving board, you want to think a little bit before you dive in, right? Yeah? Okay. So let's talk about like a similar problem that we did yesterday. Let's talk about 6.42 minus 2.09. Okay. What would be an easy way to think through this problem?
Well, you can add 0.01 to 2.09.
Okay, and what's that going to, what problem are you going to be left with then? Right, please write the problem down.
6.42
6.42
minus 2.1.
Okay, what's that?
This is 4.32.
Okay, now, is 4.32 too big or too small?
It's going to be too small.
Okay, why?
Because I added the 0.01.
Because 2.1 is bigger than 2.09, so you're subtracting a bigger number. So this is too small. So what do you have to do to get the right answer?
I have to add 0.01.
Okay, so what's the right answer over here?
4.33.
4.33. Okay, very good. Now maybe let's do a multiplication problem. Kind of similar to what we talked about yesterday. How about 71 times, how about times 49?
Well,
Okay, so what could you do here to make your life a little easier?
we could do 71 times 50.
Okay, okay, good. So write that down. That's a good idea. 71 times 50 is a much easier problem to do. Okay, and what's even easier than 71 times 50 now? How can we make 71 times 50 easier?
70 times 50.
Well, that'd be fine. We say we don't necessarily get to the right problem right away. So you could now scoot over one more and say, hey, wait a minute. 71 times 50 is not quite as easy as 70 times 50. Scoot over. Okay, what's 70 times 50?
70 times 50 is 3,500.
Okay, write that down. Now, was that the sub-problem answer that you were looking for?
No.
What was the problem that you were looking for?
71 times 49.
Well, where did this problem come from?
This one.
Okay, it came from there.
So we need to add another.
Another what?
1 times 50.
Okay, so what is we know 70 times 50 is 3,500. What's 71 times 50?
3,550.
3,550. Awesome. Okay, now is that the answer that we're looking for over here?
No.
What did we have? What do we need to do to go from this answer to this answer?
We need to subtract a 71.
We need to subtract a 71. Okay? So we have 3,550 minus 71 is the same as 71 times 49. So what is 3,550 minus 71?
Well, it's
It's 3,500 minus 20
minus 1.
minus 1. Okay?
Which is
Okay, just write the answer up here when you have it.
3,479.
3,479. Okay, now let me ask you a tricky question. How can you just sort of eyeball that this is at least possibly the right answer? What tells you, like let's say I got 3,492 instead. So I told you, without multiplying out, one of these two things is the right answer, but only one of them is the right answer. How could you tell that 3,479 was right and 3,492 was wrong? What's an easy way to check that?
You can just do 71 times 50. It should be pretty near that.
Well, both of these are pretty near that. These are only a little bit apart.
But it should be 70. It should be 71 lower.
Right.
We could do that to check it.
Okay, you could do all the arithmetic out, but how can you check without doing all the arithmetic? Okay. How can you just look at the board and know, if I told you one of these two is right, it's either 3,492 or it's 3,479.
Well, it would end in a 9.
It has to end in a 9 because you've got a 1 times 9. Okay? So when you do some of these shortcuts to save time,
yep.
You still want to come back at the end and say, is this probably right? Well, we know this should be very close to 70 times 50, which, in other words, 1 less on the top, 1 more on the bottom. Yep. 70 times 50 is what?
70 times 50 is 3,500.
3,500. So it meets the requirement that it's pretty close to 3,500. Unfortunately, so did this. Okay? So they're both, like, if instead I told you that 8,492 and 3,479 were the two choices, this would tell you that this one has to be right.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay? But now I was a little closer, 3,492. Now you can just say, well, the last digit has to be 9.
Yep.
Okay? So those are some good little arithmetic tricks. Because multiplying this out takes a long time, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to multiply it 71 times 49. Nobody would want to do that.
Yeah.
What are you looking at over there? Okay. So we want to find ways to make our life easier, and that's what we're talking about. That's why we're going through these, is because when you see a problem like this, you say, how could I make my life easier? And we found some good ways to do it, and we got the answer without really having to multiply out anything difficult, right?
Yeah.
So most problems are going to allow you to do that. So we just got to learn to think before you dive in. So for any problem at all you run across, what's the first thing you should do?
Think.
Okay? So you got two choices. You can either think or not think. Which one's the best?
Think.
Right. Okay, good job today. All right, good job.